All right, are we on? Uncle Henry here.
Through the years, I've always had the ability to put people to sleep when they listen.
Uncle Henry Internet Show, thank you for looking in tonight.
I think I was born unusually and uncomfortably personal. We're sending nasty jokes to each other over.
My mother's not a beast, damn you!
We worship the youth of our country. What about the elderly?
All right, look, calm down, because this is Facebook. This is different from real TV. Hang up on this guy, you sick freak! Turn the volume down on this. I'm not ready for that kind of garbage. The graphics working. Would you stop it? You scumbag freak! Dadgummit, I wish I could just... All right, enough! All right, that's not it. All right, stop it! Stop it! Please stop. You're taking time away from our guests with your outburst. Welcome to the Uncle Henry Internet Show. Tonight, a milestone for this show. It'll be the highest testosterone level ever on the program. Tonight, we have Joey Jones. Yes! As soon as he walked into the building, people regaled him with questions about football and things like that. People are drawn to him magnetically for his football knowledge. And we'll have that for you tonight on the program. Also, our musical guest, adding to the testosterone level, Harrison McInnis. My goodness gracious. He practically leaves a slick of testosterone behind him. He's so full of testosterone. But a musical guest presented by Callahan's. Thank you, Callahan's. Very proud to have Callahan's on the Gulf Coast and in Mobile. Also tonight, unfortunately, we have the Lanyap Mystery Box Contest. We'll be asking you to guess what's in the mystery box. All of our guests. This is a feature of Lanyap. Thank you to Lanyap, lanyapmobile.com. We are going to get to all of that. Before we get to any of it, we want to thank those of you that make the show possible. This is not advertiser supported, really. It's donations from the viewers that support this program. Congratulations to all of our associate executive producers that have donated money to the program. Robert Wager, Scotty White, Wendy Jen, Mophobius, Frida Schnetzler, Seymour Buttocks, Tim Anderson. Thank you, Tim. Shelby Mitchell, Phil DeBalzac, Ron Reams, Rick Henry. Thank you. Associate executive producers, Prince Albert Inacan, Philip Skiba, Dalton Lister, Suzanne Zimmer, Percy Master P. Manders, Jay Akins, Matt Bighead Green. And all of the, now you're going to see a lot of names, the Claytons. Johnny Gwynn asked his family to donate to the show for his 50th birthday. So all these people are related to Johnny Gwynn. There are the names. I think most of them are real names. Executive producers have given a lot more money, and thank you to Rob Holpert for his donations. Louise John Lartigue Jr., LD the Mad Trucker, Bridget Jerkins of Royal Street Barbers. We also have Doug Faust. Doug is here tonight. Henry Poulier Jr., Leah Brown, Dorothy Doc Clayton, Cheryl Gwynn, Bama Big Man and Mrs. Bama Big Man. As soon as Joey Jones came in, Bama Big Man was talking about Murphy versus Davidson games. That's why we love Bama Big Man. Kathy Boyette, Wendy Lynn Norris, G.I. Jane, Jeffrey Wimmer of Mississippi, Aunt Karen Simmons. Thank you, Aunt Karen. Thank you to everybody who donates. We'd like to keep doing this show into 2021. The only way we're going to do it is if we get donations from viewers. You can go to PayPal, look for Deep Fried Live on PayPal, go to Venmo and look for Deep Fried Live. Now, before we get into Joey Jones, by the way, you can scan on your phone. I don't understand how that works. If you understand it, God bless you. The mystery box. Last week we asked, and Johnny Gwynn, you're going to need to talk about this real quick. We want to get to Joey Jones, but we have the contest running. If people watching correctly guess or get close to what's in the mystery box, they win. they win a digital subscription to Lanyap.
Correct.
We appreciate Lanyap. Now, these are people that actually guessed last week.
Correct. They emailed me at deepfriedstudios@gmail.com with what they think is in the mystery box.
These are the people that emailed with guesses. The person that got the closest, or did now?
No one got. Well, Scotty got it. Remember, Scotty got
yes.
the mystery box in the mystery box last week.
It's going to take all night if we have to hear that. Tracy, congratulations to Tracy Peterson. She won the digital subscription to Lanyap.
And I will contact her this week to tell her how she can get it.
All right, or somebody can just let her or her parole officer know that she won. Now, we've been getting feedback.
Yeah.
Viewers have had comments on this new annoying feature, the Lanyap Mystery Box. Some of the feedback.
You'll find out what we get. Yep.
Mike F.
Mike F.
Says, I didn't think this show could get any dumber. WTF is that mystery box?
That's one of
It's
them.
not nearly as stupid as you described it to me. That's Lady
My
Wellborn.
wife.
You know what's in that box? My review of your show, a steaming pile of, and that comes from Chris S.
Chris S. Yeah.
Less mystery box, more attractive young lady guest, Norman. Richie S. says, mystery box, I guess that's what toothless bammers consider entertainment. See, you're leaving us open. This feature leaves us open to attack from Auburn fans. And we need a spirit of unity in the country.
Unity. That's right, unity.
Tracy P. says, the mystery box music really hurts my ears. And Rob Holbert says, please make sure all references to the mystery box is followed by the agreed upon sound effect. All right.
See, we have to work on that contract. I should have negotiated better with not saying those words, because it's starting to drive me crazy.
Yes, it is so. So this feature, which has taken up too much time before we get to Joey Jones, there are, and that failed box contest is a disgrace. It's as rigged as a national election.
I don't know. That came from somebody. That came this morning. I don't. Now, not all of them are bad. Not all of them are bad.
The mystery box is wonderful. Whoever came up with the idea is a genius. That's the mother of Johnny Gwynn. All right, Johnny, explain the rules. Explain the rules real quick.
Okay, here's the rule. Rob's counting, I know. Okay, the objective, look, there's an object in this box. In the box. Wait, let me get Dan so I can get the shot here.
It doesn't need half a shot.
Okay, there's a box behind me. There's a box behind me. There it is, the mystery box. The something. So there's objects, and something mentioned in the show will be what's in this container. Fortune tellers, remote viewers, Lanyap staff, and necromancers cannot win. So here's how you play. You center yourself, you quiet yourself, you feel me penetrating your brain with my thoughts, and then you choose wisely. And then you email your prediction to deepfriedstudios@gmail.com, and I will be looking at the timestamp because I don't want any after the fact. And then you can win. The closest person will win a year subscription to Lanyap's and a digital subscription.
All right.
There it is right there.
Very nice. And you know what? This is so embarrassing to have somebody like Joey Jones waiting to come on, and we're going through this. All right, now before we get into anything else, it was Johnny Gwynn's 50th birthday last week.
I have to actually turn this on.
All right, and
can I say something before we start?
Yes.
I had my wife did a fantastic job throwing me an absolute wonderful surprise party. It was amazing. And I got this great 30-minute film made, and I want to play Jonna Nixon's video she gave me because it made me feel, that video was like me watching kind of a memorial film, and I'm feeling a little old. She made me laugh, and it became a birthday again. I want to play this, so we have to you have to do some banter for a while.
I will. All right. Well, look.
Jonna, thank you so much. And everybody that gave me a video and everybody gave me pictures, thank you so much.
Hurry. All right. Okay. Look, I can see Joey Jones' regret on his face. All right, now this video, this is Jonna. You can hear Jonna on 95 KSJ. She's a radio personality at iHeartMedia. She developed as a child the skill of singing with her mouth closed.
You ready?
It is actually really her singing with her mouth closed. Let's see.
Millions I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. I just wanted to say, Johnny, happy birthday. You don't look a day over 10 years old in a weird sort of way. You inspire me all the time, and I have a little song for you, a special performance.
That's something that you never know how you're going to use that skill, I guess, for people's 50th milestone birthday party. All right, now, quickly, before we yes, we're still waiting to bring out Joey Jones, but before we bring out Joey Jones on the Uncle Henry Show, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, this week came out with new guidelines for Thanksgiving. Because they're worried about the coronavirus, and they wish we wouldn't get together, but if we do get together, they want us all to wear masks if we go to each other's houses. They want the doors and windows open. They've got a lot of guidelines on Thanksgiving, and we came up with some of our own new pandemic Thanksgiving rules inspired by the CDC. These are some rules that I came up with along with the Container Boys. First rule is blood relatives eat indoors, in-laws eat outdoors. If you bring up politics, you must wear a mask and a gag. Everyone sits 6 feet apart, except the kids. They have to sit 12 feet away or with the in-laws outdoors. Bathrooms must be sanitized after each use. After Cousin Clyde uses it, we nail the door shut. And if you only serve ham instead of turkey, you must wear an apron that says, "Yes, I'm a commie freak." Anyone complaining about the green bean casserole must sit out the first half of next year's Thanksgiving meal. Any person demanding a temperature check must go first using a rectal thermometer. A little hydroxychloroquine in the gravy ain't gonna hurt nothing. If the family drinks alcoholic beverages at Thanksgiving, there must be enough Pabst Blue Ribbon available to kill everyone's virus. And encourage guests to avoid singing, shouting, or chanting unless the Pabst Blue Ribbon has mysteriously made everyone sound better. By the way, the chant that we will allow is "Bring out the bird, bring out the bird, bring out the bird." Grandparents must provide proof that their will is updated and valid before they get a hug. Use an aerated mask sack while eating. Now the CDC said that this is true. They said you need to have a plan of what to do with your mask while you're eating. They're worried. So you must use a sack for your mask. Fondling anyone's aerated mask sack is prohibited. And this has nothing to do with the pandemic, but the TV must stay off unless it has a football game on.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of football, please welcome to the Uncle Henry Internet Show, after too long of a wait, Joey Jones. Yeah. Thank you, Joey Jones. And I apologize for the lengthy wait to bring you on. Joey Jones, thank you for agreeing to lower yourself to this show.
Yeah, I was asked, what kind of show is this? And I was given all this. I think it's just a sports show, talk about football and that kind of thing. And I was totally wrong about that. A little more comedy involved, I think.
Well, I told a coworker that you were coming on, and she is a married woman, an adult married woman, and she said, Joey Jones, she says, I'm happily married, but Joey Jones is my imaginary husband. Now, do you get that reaction often?
No, not at all.
All right, we're going to go through some highlights of your career. We're going to ask a little bit about things that you've been involved with. I'm curious, though, was there an age as a child that you realized you were a little bit better than the other people you were playing with?
Well, I remember when I was 7 years old, hadn't played football yet, and we were actually playing chase in this neighborhood little park area, and nobody could catch me. So that was one of the things. And Steve Rogers from Matry Park actually came by. He was a coach there on the little tiny mite team, the seven-year-olds and 70-pound league. Saw me running and asked me to come play football. My mother didn't want me to do it because I wanted to play. You know, I was all excited about it. So she went to Kmart. You know, not Walmart, Kmart.
Government Street Kmart?
Oh yeah, the one. Yeah, no doubt.
Very good.
I was probably a mile from there, and she bought me a plastic helmet. Had the fake foam rubber, and it did little kids wear. And so I go out to practice the first day with a fake helmet, you know. So it was kind of funny. But anyway, of course, the coach was like, you need to get your, he took me to the Thoss Sporting Goods. He took me to Thoss and got me a real helmet. So started from there.
All right, so getting to the level where you're highly recruited, how much of that is natural ability and how much of it is hard work?
You know, I don't know how to describe. First of all, you have to have some talent. I mean, I think there's got to be some of that there. The problem is some guys don't utilize their talents. But, you know, if you have a guy that, can do both, he's either, you got to bring something to the table. There's qualities of, the size, speed, how smart is the guy, how tough. And I think the one thing that I think that really gets overlooked more than anything is toughness, because I learned a lot of toughness at Matry Park and was able to fight through a lot of things. We had 2-a-days, and those guys, I mean, those coaches now, I talked to Shot Los, as a matter of fact, talked to him, Robert Los, and he said that if they had lawyers back in the day, we'd have been sued so many times, because of what they did to us when we were 7 and 8 years old. But I always appreciated that, because I thought that toughness part is really what got me through.
Now, in modern times, have we become a nation of wussies?
Well, I would say I wouldn't probably term it that way, but I would say in some ways, yeah.
Okay.
Some ways.
Right. I just look. You hear about modern. The idea. Joey Jones didn't give us examples, but the way he was treated as a little kid, probably those people would go to jail for coaching the way you were coached when you were that young.
That's right.
All right. So, recruited before you went to Alabama. How many colleges recruited you?
Well, not a lot. Division I wise. The first offer I got, I went to a Bobby Bowden's camp in the summer before my senior year. He offered me a scholarship. They had some great DB that was from Florida. It was supposed to be the best, and I ran by him on a deep route and caught the doe for the ball and caught it. And he brings me to his office, offers me a scholarship. Well, I was excited, to say the least. Bobby Bowden was a big up-and-coming name. Obviously, Coach Bryant had a bigger name. Alabama came and offered me a little later, but it's funny. Ole Miss offered me Alabama and Florida State, and that was really it for the big schools. I'll tell you one story. A guy from Ohio State came down, watched my film, and told Coach Shaw, he said, "Man, I love this guy. Let's bring him down here." And when I walked up to him, he saw my height, and I never heard from him again.
Wow. Did anybody offer you fun things like cars, jobs?
No.
What's the matter with that question?
Nothing, because it didn't happen. You don't have to worry about that with me, because
I was just curious.
There might have been some of our players that maybe that happened, but no, I didn't. I was just happy to get a scholarship. I was kind of one of the last ones. They didn't have to do that for me, for sure.
Okay, well, look, folks, please, it's going to be a long night. This is probing interview. We want to know about these things. All right, so Alabama recruits you. There you go. We've already had Bama Big Man in the audience say he wants Bear Bryant stories. What kind of relationship did you have with Bear Bryant?
Well, at first I would say it was a little bit non-existent. Probably the best way to, you got to understand, as you know, as a freshman, you kind of were not looked down on, but you were certainly not counted on to be a part of the team. And when I went to the first practice, I was sixth string, not first, second, third, fourth, sixth string. So obviously, I didn't think Coach Bryant knew my name, you know, and all that. So went through my freshman year and kind of struggled, and with, you know, being all-state receiver, I'm thinking I'll probably start the third game, you know, and I get there and I'm sixth string for the whole year. So anyway, so the next year, my sophomore year, we had a long story, but anyway, had a lot of guys getting hurt ahead of me, and ended up having to start. Well, that after that game, I caught a 50-yard touchdown on my first catch of that game, and had another big catch, and then. I was never forget Coach Bryant coming to me, and he just kind of grabbed me behind my neck and just kind of smiled at me. He didn't say anything. He just kind of grabbed me behind the neck and just said, you know, good game. Didn't say it, but it kind of said it with his eyes. I'm thinking, So the next game I go out and we play Kentucky, and you know, just kind of got beat up. I busted my burster sac in my elbow, and it was real swollen, and had a cut on my, you know, right here. And after the game, I was just sitting on the bench. Just beat up, and he kind of came up to me and says, you know, I need to give you a day off practice on Monday. And so I guess I went from the outhouse to the penthouse in about 2 weeks, because really where I didn't think he knew me to all of a sudden I was kind of his pet. After that, you know, for whatever reason, he just, I guess he liked the underdog, you know, and so that was kind of my experience with him.
Well, you were there toward the end of his career when he was in full legend mode. Mm-hmm. Was it intimidating being around him?
Oh, I've never been as scared to death to talk to a person in my life as was him. I mean, literally, like when he retired after the bowl game, and we played, and I had this picture of me and him, and I wanted to get him to sign it. I said, man, I didn't think about him dying. I was just thinking, you know, before he gets away from here, I just need to do it. I couldn't even knock on the door. I was so scared of him, you know.
Wow.
I mean,
even after being there for several years, you didn't even want to knock on his door.
Yeah, and I don't want to use the word scared, but I was just really, I was just in awe of the man, you know, and I think everybody was. He just had that presence about him.
How did that affect the way you coached, knowing that you were intimidated by mm-hmm. Coach Bryant? Did that change the way you approached your team?
No,
Did you want to make sure that they weren't intimidated by you?
Well, I think that one thing he did teach all of us is you got to be who you are, and if you're not who you are and whatever you're doing, you're not going to be successful. You can't be somebody else. In other words, I couldn't be Coach Bryant trying to intimidate everybody, but you know, you had your plan. And one thing I did learn from him as well is you got to have a plan for everything, and he did. He always had a plan, and I think I described his career probably where in his first days, I'm sure he made some mistakes, even though, I think Coach Bryant didn't make many mistakes. But over the years, as years went by, the mistakes got less and less and less, because he never made, you know, I say never, tried not to make this same mistake twice. And so I think that was probably, a credit to him. He was a very simple man, the guy that, understood the motivation of players and the toughness, and, it really, he was kind of like my dad died when I was 10, so I kind of had, he was kind of like my second dad to me in a lot of ways, and so I really respected him and played like heck for him every Saturday.
Now, this picture of you we've highlighted, how is your bursa sack in that picture?
That's okay. Well, it's covered up right there, but I think it's okay.
All right, now, obviously did quite well at Alabama with the intimidation and all the learning there. Any favorite game at Alabama?
Well, probably, I think about the Penn State game when he tied the record. I just remember thinking that, him and Joe Paterno were just, I don't want to use the word best friends, but they really respected each other. And, just being in that environment, knowing it was that game, I just, I had a pretty good game. I think I had 170 yards, something like that, receiving in that game, which is a lot for wishbone offense, But I enjoyed that atmosphere at Penn State. The people, it's kind of funny, at Penn State, they were so nice. You go to SEC and you play LSU and Auburn, they're all spitting on you and calling your mama wears combat boots, all those kind of things. But the Penn State, they were literally saying, hey, good to have you guys. You have a good trip? Everything's good? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I just never experienced anything like that in football.
What was the toughest atmosphere you played in the SEC? Was it LSU?
LSU.
LSU.
But I don't say by far, but it was definitely the most, the loudest. We played there national TV, which was a big deal back then, like the only game on TV. Where now you got, I don't know how many games every week. We went into the stadium and we're walking around. We had our suit and ties on, like you're dressed, and we're walking around 2 hours before the game. And you can ready to go back to the locker room, get dressed, and so all of a sudden the student section was just going nuts. They're throwing bottles, whiskey bottles, stuff landing on the field. Of course, not close to anybody, but they were throwing stuff down. And all of a sudden they just went quiet. So I looked back, and Coach Bryant looked up at him, and little kids doing like that, and they didn't know what to do. It's like they didn't know how to handle that, and then they started throwing some more, but it's kind of funny, silencing for about 5 seconds. Yeah. But during the game, it's loud. I mean, I actually coached there a year ago, or 2 years ago, 2018, when I was at Mississippi State, and man, of course that's they had a really good team and ended up winning it last year, but man, it was that's as loud. I mean, you couldn't even talk to each other on the sideline. I didn't remember it being that loud because I guess when you're playing, you're kind of involved in the game. You're thinking about playing, and as a coach, you kind of notice things like that a little bit more. But man, it was loud, very loud.
Now, your time at Alabama, your quarterback, Walter Lewis, right? Mm-hmm. I don't hear a lot of Alabama fans talk in modern times about him. How is your relationship with him, and what kind of quarterback was he?
Well, first of all, I think he was a great quarterback. He could run, he could throw. Most of the guys we had back in the day running the wishbone, they were just mostly runners, and if they could just halfway throw, then they would be a quarterback. But he had both abilities, and great guy, just a great guy. It was the first African American to start at Alabama at quarterback. And so he went through some, some scrutiny, I would say, looking back on it. But just a great guy. I mean, he's probably one of the best men I've ever known. I mean, he really is. Great player, just a real good football player and great man.
Who would you say who were some of the players you felt closest to when you played there?
My roommate, Paul Caruth, he was running back from Mississippi, talking about getting some things for recruiting. That might be one story, but I can't tell that
Very
one.
good.
But anyway,
Very good.
it may have happened.
It's theoretical, hypothetical.
Yeah. So stay in touch with him. But yeah, I stay in touch with a lot of guys. But it's kind of funny how you get on with your lives and you have families and move on. One thing I've not been able to do, which I'm looking forward to, is going back to Alabama games because I've been coaching on Saturdays and and even in high school, I coach on Friday night, and then you get up and watch film, and by the time stayed up all night on Friday because you're thinking about the game, win or lose, you're just so keyed up, and so Saturday afternoons I just couldn't go to a game because I was so tired. So it's been a long time since I've really been able to go to games. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, In Good Hands. Mm-hmm. Now, you've this book. What would we find in this book? Would we find your life story, or is there actually a clinic on how to catch football?
Well, actually, my wife drew this as well. She did all the whole program. That's actually pretty good. But it's really just a diary of the change from Coach Bryant to Coach Perkins, what it's about.
Cool. Okay, all right. You went to the USFL.
Birmingham Stallions.
Joey Jones and the Birmingham Stallions. So that experience, how would you describe that experience in pro football, but not the pro football we know today?
Yeah. Riley Dodge was the head coach, and you talking about a great football coach. He was a guy that was a offensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers for those 4 championships, Super Bowl championships, and he was a good old Irish guy, but tough as nails, but he'd love on you too. I loved him. I loved playing there. Of course, it was in Legion Field where I played a lot of my college games. So you had a lot of familiarity there, and a lot of people, a lot of Alabama fans would come and just watch games because they were in Birmingham, of course.
Y'all had a great record, too. Y'all's record was really good.
Yeah, we were really good. Yeah, we was in the semifinals a couple years, and so we had some good years there. But it was a lot of fun. I went and played with the Falcons after that.
You're jumping ahead. He's jumping ahead. No. when we get to that, we're still talking about the USL,
Oh, you got-
the next couple
Control.
screens.
I'm improperly clicked, apparently.
Yeah. So anyway, so I went with Atlanta after that, and then what is that?
That's
Yeah.
you, number 4.
Yeah. That's Jim Smith there. Yeah, a lot of those. Buddy Adelette went to Murphy, right there. A lot
What's
of
his
guys,
name?
a lot of Alabama and Auburn players there.
Yes, indeed.
It's Joe Cribbs.
Joe Cribbs from Auburn. Doug Smith was from Auburn. Trying to think of these guys here. Alabama.
They hid you.
And Paul Carruth was on that team as well. And so we had Buddy. Of course, Buddy played at Alabama as well.
So good experience. Now the Atlanta, talk about the Atlanta Falcons experience.
You know, it was really odd because I've been so used to, even from Maytree all the way through the Stallions, we never lost. I was just fortunate being on good teams, you know. And in Atlanta, of course, we didn't do very well, but it was just not a most well-run organization I've ever seen. Put it that way. I thought that it really came from the top, from the ownership and all that. I think just the passion to make it happen wasn't there at that point. You know, good coaches, good guys, but they weren't really backing the program at that time.
Now this is you as a high school football coach. Is that correct?
Yep.
I didn't think that was you when I kept finding the picture, but that's you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good record as a high school football coach.
Yeah, pretty decent. Yeah, we went to Dora High School. It was my first job. They had like 6 losing seasons, and we ended up turning that program around, did some good things. And
Why did you get into coaching? Because former Alabama players that are really good, they can do almost anything they want as long as they stay in the borders of this state.
yeah, that's right.
I mean, you could sell
Yeah.
you could sell almost anything, and people are going to invite you in because of you're Joey Jones.
Yeah.
So you could have done a lot of different things. Why did you want to go into coaching?
You know, it's just I love the game. I love being around the players. I love that whole deal. It was a sport that really, I won't say got me out of some of the things going on, maybe at home and with my dad dying and divorce and things like that. But I loved it. It really was good for me. So I wanted to impart some of that with kids because we have so many kids that are going through different issues that you don't ever know about. And I was able to talk to a lot of those kids and, through those times. I remember kids coming there crying in my office, my dad's doing this, my mom's doing it, whatever. And, and I could sit there and I kind of been through some of that stuff. So I look forward to that more than anything. Plus, I just really love the strategy of the game. I really enjoy watching film and trying to come up with game plans.
Do you, now that you're at your current stage in life, will you watch football for pleasure? Do you enjoy watching it if it's on TV?
For the first time in my life, matter of fact, about 3 Saturdays ago, I sat at my TV from 11 o'clock in the morning until about 11 o'clock that night.
Wow. How
Yeah,
about, and
12
so you
hours.
liked it?
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
Are you fun to watch a game with? Do you yell at the TV?
No.
You don't?
No. I'm kind of looking at the strategy and what's going on in the game, and I'm not caught up in the emotion of it, unless it's Alabama, or, even watching Mississippi State. Now I'll look back and kind of know some of the guys there and pulling for those guys to win, that kind of thing. But no, most of it's just really, it's more of a evaluation, from my standpoint, because I'm looking at, what I've called there. Why did he make that decision? Those kind of things. So.
Well, football is been changing, of course, evolving, unfortunately, through the years. I've come up with some ways to improve college football, and I'd love your feedback on this. These are just some things. Oh, you think? Well, look,
I think it's going to be
this
good.
is just common
sense. The show
sense.
has been great so far, so it's going to get better.
Well, thank you. First thing that we've got here, all players must have a crew cut hairstyle. Now, this promotes unity and team when everybody has the same clean-cut hairstyle.
Well, Eddie Stanky did that baseball at South Alabama, right?
Very nice.
Pretty
very
good
nice.
coach, yeah.
Allow some minor roughing of the kicker if he misses. No, seriously, if he misses, then
What's minor?
Just knock them
blood?
down.
Like a punch in the shoulder.
You don't want to target, you just knock them down.
No blood.
Well, it depends how big the game is. Natural grass surfaces only for better stains. We'd like to see the players covered in all of the field.
Oh, yeah.
1 or 2 color traditional boring uniforms with tearaway jerseys.
Tearaway jerseys, yes.
We like the tearaway jersey.
I've found one where it moved about a month ago, and I found one of those old cut-off jerseys we had out. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
More punting on 3rd down and drop kicks. Now, what's funny about that?
Well, Coach Bryant actually took that philosophy, not drop kicks, but he punted on 3rd down some.
Hey, you
It
changed
was
field
quick kick.
position. The quick kick.
Oh, yeah, quick kick.
Shula might still be coach at Alabama if he had quick kicked.
The 3rd down punting would not have saved his career.
Look, better than the jumbo package. All right, let's not revisit all that. Instant replay deliberation can only last as long as the average beer commercial.
Yes.
You know, I agree with that.
See?
I do agree with
We're
that.
on track. All actors in the beer commercials must look like real-life beer drinkers. Like this guy. You've noticed, Joey Jones, in the beer commercials, everybody is like 21 and they look like they're all playing football.
Yeah.
And people that drink beer don't look that good. Allow fans to vote to have referees ejected from the game.
I love it.
Would be good.
I agree with that.
A celebrated retirement of Gary Daniels.
Celebrate.
Before we go forward, have you had big problems with a ref or an umpire in a game?
I have at times, yeah. And the thing that bothers me is how coaches can't be criticized at all. The coaches get fired every day, but you know, for having a bad call, they just need to fess up and own up to it.
I agree.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
if they make a bad call,
They're going to be
to it.
replaced by robots one day.
Yep.
Also, an artificial intelligence-powered TV broadcast hologram of Keith Jackson for every game. We'd love to have Keith Jackson back. Players who fumble have to wear a dunce cap for a quarter of play. Now, shame
Now,
is
that would hurt their feelings.
but shame is a powerful motivator.
Teach them a life lesson.
I agree, but nowadays you can't hurt their feelings.
All right, well, we talked about toughness earlier.
Exactly.
Let some short guys play every so often.
Oh, look at that.
Why not?
Especially if you're 5'8".
The losing team has to leave the stadium in specially marked shame buses. Yeah,
Shame buses.
yeah. So when
Yeah.
people are driving around, they
You
go,
got a
oh,
winner,
that's the
you got a
losing
loser,
team.
right? A winner
Yeah.
or loser. It's good.
Require teams to run at least 2 trick plays every quarter.
Exactly. That would be good now. I like that.
You like trick plays?
Like XFL.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right. Did
It's a real good
you, as a coach, did you use any trick plays?
Oh, yeah.
In the coaching career?
Oh, yeah.
Any favorite?
Probably the one where we actually had one we ran in high school where we had a bunch of guys on the line of scrimmage. We'd go for 2 play. We'd shift 2 guys off, you know, and this guy was an eligible receiver, but they thought he was a tackle. We'd move the guys over to the other side, and we'd slip him out in the back of the corner, the end zone. That seemed to work every time.
Isn't that good, Bama Big Man? You love that?
Got that? Yeah.
Also, more Joey Jones on the sidelines or in the broadcast booth. I'd like to have that. Now, the phone lines. We're about to open up the phone lines for Joey Jones. So here is the number. If you have any questions, please don't embarrass me this week in front of Joey Jones. Joey Jones is another gateway guest, which means if this goes good, then we can get other quality guests on the program.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass us by calling in with weird questions or off-color comments. Yes, Johnny Gwynn?
Coach Ronnie Arrow really helped us getting Joey. So
Yes, thank you to
that's
Coach
why we
Ronnie
got
Arrow.
A gateway guest. So, Coach Ronnie Arrow.
Yes, thank you.
very much.
Ronnie Arrow helped us get Joey Jones. Also reminding you that after the conversation with Joey Jones, we're going to have Harrison McInnis As our musical guest, presented by Callahan's, proud to have Callahan's affiliated with the program and in Mobile. Now, your coaching career at South, looking back on getting a football program started from nothing, it looks like a very heavy lift.
It is. You know, it's you don't realize it till you get into it as well. But I did go and visit with Howard Schnellenberger, you know, the great coach from Miami, won a national championship, and he's one of the top, at least top 20 coaches of all time. Went to FAU, tried to start that program. He told me, he said, you're getting into a tough situation. You know, there's going to be some things that happen that you're not ready for. So the biggest thing, and I won't bore you with all of it, but when you start building a program, you start having, you know, recruiting big classes to win early. And then it comes a point where all those guys start falling off. We lost 33 players one year and lost 36 the next year. So that's 69 players in 2 years because you had to get them early. And so you just couldn't avoid that mass exodus of those players. That's one of the things he told me, but I couldn't stop it because he said, I don't know what to tell you because this is going to happen. So, but things like that. But it is tough starting a new program, no doubt.
We've got a picture of you at a press conference here. How annoying is it to have to talk to the media?
No, I've liked it. I mean,
what?
I mean, I enjoy
what about
it.
Isn't to me one of the worst things about TV football is sideline interviews, interrupting the coach.
I agree with that.
During, and after a game, interrupting the coach, asking silly questions. That's got to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I've always thought that was a little overboard because I remember Coach Bryant, you know, when ESPN was just getting started, and that lady asked him a question. He says, "Trying to win the game," and she goes, "Well, what about Walter Lewis? You know, are you going to play him next? Trying to win the game." And she goes, "Okay." You know, that's like, you know, he was so he was so, I won't use the word old school, but he didn't like that at all. He didn't like that at all.
Now, everybody still has a good feeling about that game.
Mm-hmm. That was a big one. That was a big one. That was a fun time.
And yes, it was. Yes, it was. People still talking about it. Now, you were kicked in the face.
Okay, can I say something real quick?
Johnny Gwynn?
So I get all the pictures, you know,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of pictures of you on the internet. I don't understand that. You have
He's lived a clean life.
Well, very clean life. There's a ton of pictures with your bloody nose out there. There's so many of those, and so I had to put that on there.
You had to do it, yeah. Yeah, so we were in the bowl game, that first bowl game we went to, and that tight end right there actually rolled. And so I'm trying to keep him off my legs, and he flips over, his foot comes hits me right there. I ain't kidding. I've been in a lot of fights over the years of Murphy and whatever. I never got hit like that. I mean, I almost blacked out. It was one of those kind of deals.
But again, back to the toughness.
That's right.
You toughed it out.
I had to go back and feed off that.
Now, before we move on, how many fights have you been in your life?
More than I can count on two hands for sure. I don't know.
When was the last fight? Were you Atlanta
Oh,
Falcons?
God.
Did you fight at the Atlanta Falcons?
No. Probably, actually, it was probably in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That would have been the last one, I think.
something around an Alabama game.
Or a girl.
No story?
Something around that.
No fun story about a fight at Alabama?
Fight at Alabama, no.
Okay.
I don't want to go there.
We will make up in our own minds a Joey Jones fight story. Tell us about this.
Oh, that's the first bowl game that we went to, played Bowling Green. And that was a very exciting time for University of South Alabama. We had only been a Division I program for 2 years. That was our second year. And it's the fastest any new school has gone to a bowl game ever. And so it was pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Coach of the Year for the Sun Belt. You've talked about the difference now between your early coaching experience, the way you were coached versus how people have to coach now. How do you motivate the modern youngster?
You know, I think it's tougher. I really do, because for instance, we talked about off seasons, you know, at Mississippi State and of course at South Alabama, how much you can push these guys. Well, the way they pushed us to the brink. I mean, it was like either in or you're out. I mean, it became, you know, if you fell down on the floor and couldn't breathe, they just leave you laying over there for a little while, you know, and, you know, well, now you can't do that. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, so I don't know how you really just need to recruit tougher players, in my opinion. You can make them tougher. I'm not saying that, but I mean, I just think it's tougher now because of all the, you know, the legal ramifications and that kind of thing. So
When you were talking about being in Alabama and being with Bear Bryant, you made a reference to what motivates players. I'm certain that what motivated the players when you were there is perhaps a bit different from what motivates the modern player, right?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think it's changed. You know, if you look at what used to be important for recruits, they just study, and I want to say it was 25, 30 years ago, I'm not exactly sure, but a while back. Used to be the head coach was the first thing on their list, you know. Now, the first thing on their list is facilities. So if you don't have good facilities now, you're not going to get good players. Where back in the day, you know, I went to play for Coach Bryant, you know. I mean, it's just basically it. I didn't care what color socks we had or what was on my shoes, or I could care less, you know. And so that's what's changed.
All right. Now, is this from you going into a Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's actually Murphy High School. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's Miss Sibley there. Her son Rusty and I are real good friends, and we stayed in touch over the years. Great lady. A wife Elise right there, of course, there and there. And so, yeah, that was an honor. I love Murphy High School. It's a great place, and you know, a lot of good tradition there, and as I was honored to.
And is this what you're doing now?
Where'd you get that one? That's on the internet?
I stalked you on the internet all day.
How about that? That was like 12 pounds, I think. No, it was like I think it was a 6-pounder, you know, up at Enterprise, Alabama. Matter of fact, we took our coaches up there and for a little getaway, and they ended up catching that one right there. Lost the biggest fish. And I'm not going to go too deep into the story, but I lost literally a bass that was that big. His mouth was that big around. He came out of the water, shook the worm out, lost him. But he had to have been at least 12 pounds.
This is something. Now we're going to allow you, the home viewer, or I don't know, bus station viewer, I don't know where you're watching. We're allowing you to call in now and talk to Joey Jones. Here is the phone number. If you have any questions for Joey Jones, give us a call. Bama Big Man, do you have a question? No, Bama Big Man has no question. He's in awe. No, actually, Bama Big Man talked to Joey Jones for about an hour before we did the show. So the phone lines are open for Joey Jones. Don't forget we have Harrison McInnis coming up after Joey Jones. Do we have any calls? Let's go to the phones. Hello, caller.
Roll Tide up.
Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide, Joey Jones. Joey, one of my all-time favorite players. I've got a comment and a couple of questions for you. The comment is, I still have that front page of the Birmingham News where, as a stallion, you made that catch to where you're completely horizontal about, 6 inches off the ground, making that reception. Do you recall that? I don't remember what game it was, but it was as a stallion.
Yeah, it was we versus Orlando Renegades, and you know, it was just one of those catches that it's not the busted nose ones, but it was one of those balls that Cliff Stout threw a deep ball, and it was one of those balls really when I dove, I thought I was just doing it for show because I didn't think I'd get there. And I dove, and the ball just happened to land right on my fingertips, and I rolled it in. So,
yeah, we found the picture.
All right.
Yeah. Pretty good. But anyway, that guy won Pitcher of the Year for that. He actually snapped that
right
with
there.
one snap. Like it wasn't one of these multiple. He just turned. He said he literally told me, he said he turned and snapped it. Just got it right there. So
Worthy of a Daniel Moore.
and that's right. That's right. If I'd been in an Alabama uniform, probably would have been, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, listen, I got a couple of tough questions for you.
All right. Here we go.
Did Coach Bryant have any comment to you when you fumbled? Was it 2 punts in the 3:15 game?
No, he just said, he came over to me. He said, I love you, but, I love you. He said, I'm going to take care of you. But, man, he said, don't do that again. I said, they didn't win the game.
And I believe he took you out, didn't he?
Thank God they didn't win the game.
And the other stuff, well, I got a couple of them, but the other one's going to be, I was at the Alabama-Penn State game there at Legion Field in '82. Penn State won the national championship that year, but they lost one game that year. Mm-hmm. And they lost it to Alabama by a huge margin. And after that, we went to hell in a handbasket. What happened? Into that 86 season.
Yeah, really and truly, our defense that year, really the last 2 years, wasn't nearly as good as it was in previous years. We were actually pretty decent on offense, but defensively, we didn't have the players on defense that we had for years. Of course, Alabama always had. I think Coach Bryant, people knowing he was, retiring or at least getting close to it, I think that hurt recruiting in those last couple of classes. And that's really, we defensively just weren't as good as, losing games, 42-35 and things like that. We were actually scoring points, but we were giving up too many points.
Well, and Pat Dye was going out there telling everybody that Bear was fixing to hang it up, so they need to come play for him too. And one last question, and I'll let others chime in. Will you ever coach again in any capacity?
I don't know. I've actually decided to take the whole year off and go through December and make my decision what I want to do after that. But I couldn't give you an answer right now. But I'll be honest with you, it's been very relaxing to, after 50 years of playing and coaching, to kind of have some time off. It's been nice.
All right. Thank you for the phone call.
It's been wonderful talking to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. All right. Do we have any other callers for Joey Jones? Yes. Hello, caller. Hang up on that person. Hang up on him. Please, don't embarrass us in front of Joey Jones. Do we have any other calls? Hello, caller.
Yes, there's some very famous stadiums around with great names that bring up great images like Rose Bowl and Cotton Bowl. Death Valley, when you hear these things, you think of a certain image. But the name of our stadium is Hancock.
Hang up on this guy. Hang up on the guy. We're going to, don't stop thinking about the call. Everybody, move your mind forward, away from the call. Stop thinking about the call. Let's go to the next call. Hello, caller.
Hey, how's it going there, everybody? Mr. Joey Jones, you don't know me, but I'm a friend of Uncle Henry's. My name is Sock Cop. It's nice to meet you.
Sock Cop! Hey, Sock Cop.
Hey, it's good to talk to you. No, I just wanted to say that I truly appreciate everything that you've done for the area. I don't believe that it can be overstated how much influence you had in creating this football program for the University of South Alabama. The wisdom that you brought for those undefeated seasons and all the things that you've done. So I just want to thank you for that. I appreciate that, what you've done for the area.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And with that being said, I had a question. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Never seen, but I've heard that is what is it, a leprechaun around here somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
I did hear. That's the funniest video. My wife laughed for 10 minutes after watching that. But I haven't seen one, but maybe
That's
maybe I will.
because they're not real.
Oh, okay.
There's no such thing as ghosts. There's just not.
Well, I thought they might be real, but if Joey Jones says that he hadn't seen one, they ain't real.
Very good. Sock Cop, anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the area, Mr. Joey Jones. It's an honor to speak with you, and best luck in whatever you decide to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sock Cop. By the way, we're hoping to invite Sock Cop in for one of our Christmas specials this year. Do we have any other calls for Joey Jones? Hello, caller.
Hey, tonight's show's awesome. Coach Jones, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, go Jags. I love the Jags. They're my favorite team. I try to support them however I can.
All right, well, do you have a question?
Well, I just want to say I love the Jags. I try to support them however I can. On game day, I have this special pair of Jaguar print underwear I wear. It's like in a thong pattern.
All right, don't.
A little bit.
All right, hang up on that guy. Hang up on that guy. All right, do we have a legitimate call? Hello, caller.
Good evening.
Norman. Thank goodness, Norman.
How y'all doing? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll.
Mr. Jones, I just want to tell you, I've always watched your career, and you're a good guest on the show. I enjoyed watching you play. And earlier, they was talking about those, the games with the quick kicks and stuff. Now, you were a freshman at Alabama in '79, so you didn't really get to play a lot, did you?
No, I didn't. Not at all, unless we were up 47-0. I got in the game.
That was the thing. Freshmen didn't play, but I was at that LSU game. You thought it was wound up being 3-0, where they were doing the quick kicks on the third down, and it rained on us, and those were the worst fans ever, and they only got worse in Baton Rouge down the years. But my question, did you prefer playing on turf or on grass? Because when you came out there, was playing on turf, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. When I was playing, I actually liked the turf better because it was faster. Of course, back then it was, carpet on top of concrete. But my knees and my ankles now, I don't like it as much as I did back then. So, but it was much quicker, for sure. You could change direction a lot better on turf.
Well, it's an honor to have you on this show. We all enjoyed your career. We followed you. I always liked you. You're always a good sport, a good representative of the city, the Mobile, and the University of Alabama. And y'all have a good evening in Roll Tide.
Thank you.
Roll Tide. Thank you, Norman. Do we have any other calls? Hello, caller.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Uncle Henry, Mr. Jones, a pleasure to be here. Rod Cochran, like Johnny, but without the money.
Rod,
I've got a question.
This is the Rod Man. Yes, Rod Man.
Yes, sir. I've got a question for you, Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Well, it's actually a kind of a two-part question. First, what is your favorite Van Halen song? And two, do you prefer Van Halen with Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth?
Oh, David Lee Roth for sure.
What?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for taking my call. Thank you.
You've put me, Rod Man, you've put me in a horrible situation where I feel like I don't want to disagree with the guest. But the right answer is neither one.
Okay, neither one.
All right, do we have any other calls for Joey Jones?
He didn't answer his favorite Van Halen song.
Oh, Panama.
Oh!
What, now come on, Joey Jones, you're an adult. How could you like a Van Halen song as an adult person?
Well, it is from the 8 tracks that I used to listen to. You remember 8 tracks?
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah. Got a player right back there.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
All right, do we have any other calls? Hello, caller. Hello?
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Coach Jones his reaction when you mentioned the jumbo package.
All right, hang up on that.
Come on, let's hear it.
What?
Come on, let's hear it. Did you hang up on him already? No.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you.
Come on, I mean.
Well, where do you think that was
No,
going?
he's going to do a fat mama joke.
Where do you think that was going?
Fat mama joke. I wanted to kind of hear it. It was a pretty good stuff.
We don't want fat mama jokes on the program.
Okay, all right.
Do we have any other legitimate calls?
Legitimate.
Hello, caller.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
How do you feel about, if you were a young man today, 14 or 13, would you have gone to Murphy High School, or would you have been recruited and gone to one of the schools on O'Shea Road? How do you feel about private schools recruiting kids?
I'm not.
Good question.
I'm not touching that one.
Smart man.
But I really think because I loved Murphy. I think I would have gone there from the standpoint of that. I understand what some kids and the parents are trying to do. I get it. It's all about choices where you want to go, and so everybody's gonna have their own choices. But for me, I would have gone to Murphy.
We'll get one more call in a moment. Off of that question, in the last few years, people have been more concerned about whether or not they should even allow their kids to play football because of head injuries and things like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that it's again, everybody needs to make their own choice. But I feel like if the kid really wants to play, if it's going to be my grandkid or whatever, and if any advice I would give to them, if they really want to play and they have a coach that is going to be not an idiot, in Little League football, I say let them play. I really do. Because it's too much that you can gain from this game, and I know I did. Obviously I got a couple of concussions, and maybe I have something down the road. I don't know, but I think it's like going to the military or whatever. There's a risk involved, and it's in a lot of things you do. So it's just their choice, and from my choice, I would really leave it on the young man wanting to play the game.
There's a lot to gain. What's the most someone gains? Is it learning the discipline necessary to be good? Is it the camaraderie of a team? What is the biggest gain for someone?
So many, but I would think when you say camaraderie, that's to me what you get. I mean, it's a fraternity,
Do you miss being on a team or being around a team?
I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like playing the game. I coached it out, and I like coaching, believe me. But playing the game is awesome. I love playing the game. and the only thing now I'm looking at and I always said this, and this has come to be true in this through the pandemic. But I always said football wouldn't be a lot of fun if nobody's watching. Just think about it. If you go out and have a stadium that's 10% full or whatever it might be, it's not a lot of fun. Because I love getting in front of the crowds and playing. I just love that. Nothing like it. But now you got the virus thing. Now you look at these stadiums and they're having to. And actually, some stadiums are empty. Right? I guess some of the NFL stadiums are. So that wouldn't be any fun. But but that's I love playing.
All right, we do have another call. Let's do one more call before we get to our musical guest. Hello, caller.
Good evening again.
What?
I would like to ask Coach Jones, and don't get offended, Uncle Henry, but Coach Jones, how did you feel about Alabama every time they run that jumbo package?
I'm going to defer that question to you and let you finish things up.
It annoyed, I know you don't want my answer, but it annoyed me because as a fan, I don't know anything about football, but I could predict in my house when they were going to run it. And if I can predict it, so can the other team.
I cringed when you brought it up, Dyke.
All right, hang up on that guy again.
What was the joke?
Look, there wasn't a joke. The guy had mental deficiencies.
Last one.
Oh, we have another call. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hello, caller.
It's him again.
Hello.
Yeah. What kind of pads do you prefer to work out in, mini or maxi?
Oh, hang up on that guy. Dadgummit. No more calls.
We're done. We're done.
Well, Coach, so you're going to take some time to think about what the future holds. Stop! There's nothing funny about the end of this interview.
Oh,
what?
That was so bad. But it was funny. Sorry.
All right, we want to end this with dignity. McInnis?
That's going to be tough.
Hey, that leads us right into the mystery box.
All right, before Joey Jones is gone, first of all, the Container Yard sponsors the phone calls. Thank you to the Container Yard. That's where we do this show. Downtown office space and co-working, $3.99 a day. Creativity and commerce meet at the Container Yard, containeryardworks.com. I think they've got one office open if you want an actual office here.
No, we don't.
Oh, you don't? It's already...
but get on the wait list.
Get on the wait list. All right, so Joey Jones, before you leave the set, we've got the Lagniappe mystery box. Johnny Gwynn. All right, Johnny Gwynn.
Okay, Coach Jones, I'm going to put an image of what is in the container over here, and you will see it in your brain, and then you will give me the choice. And I will count down from 3. You ready? 3, 2, 1. What's your pick? What is it?
A rabbit.
Right, a rabbit.
All right, he's given the guess of a rabbit. And again, you email your prediction at home to deepfriedstudios@gmail.com. The person that gets closest wins the subscription to Lagniappe digitally. We are out of time for our guest. Joey Jones, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here.
This has been way different than I thought it was going to be. In a good way.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah,
all right, well, good. All right, so thank you, Coach.
He's cool.
There he goes. We, of course, can use your donations to the show. If you want other quality guests like Joey Jones, you would need to donate and also not call the show. Now, please welcome to the Uncle Henry Internet Show our musical guest, Harrison McInnis. Presented by Callahan's. Cold beer, hot meat, tasty tunes. See them in Oakley. So proud to be affiliated with Callahan's and so glad that we have an establishment by Callahan's in Mobile, Alabama. Proud of Callahan's. Now, Harrison McInnis, you are going to be playing for us. How do you describe yourself when people want to know what your music is like?
I'm like Joey Jones, but not nearly as cool.
It's going to be like that tonight. All right, now you've got an album, Harrison McInnis. Now this has pagan imagery on it. What is this?
That's biblical imagery, Uncle Henry. That's the snake and the serpent and the pole.
Oh, so you're gonna sing songs that are biblically based?
No. But that's not pagan.
Okay, all right.
The serpent and the pole, right?
Okay, all right, whatever. All right, before you play, where can people see you perform? Are you out doing anything live during all this?
Not a lot lately. Like a lot of my brethren, we're stuck on our couches. But live stream has been good for a lot of us. You can do PayPal and stuff and Venmo, and it's actually been good for a lot of people. There's some guys out there making more money now than they were before. But
wow.
Yes, sir. Most of us are not. Most of us relied on, public gatherings and being able to congregate people in a place, and now you can't congregate people in a place anymore. So,
Are you open for gigs, to use a slang term?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So you, the viewer, if you have an establishment and you like what you hear tonight, you should get in touch with Harrison. How can people find you online?
Facebook. Just go to Harrison McInnis on Facebook. I'm not going to put my number out there.
Okay. Well, good. I wouldn't either.
Not on this show.
All right. Hey, you did it. You did it. You callers did that. All right, so what's the...
Those callers are Joey Jones. I don't want them with my number.
I agree. I don't want them with my number either, but it's out there. All right, so what's the first song you're going to perform for us?
If I can get it to go. Oh, I got some extra effects. I'm a couple days late, but I wanted to do a song for veterans.
Very nice.
Okay, good.
Those who have served, and we don't have a great legacy of taking care of those people who have done what they sacrificed everything for our country, and sometimes they come home and they got nothing. And it was a long time before PTSD was even a thing. You know, it was shell shock, and then it was, so. This first song's about depression.
All right.
And, waking up in your real life versus your dreams. You know, you have these wonderful dreams, and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, it's another day. I got to go do what I got to do. And sometimes it's really, really hard for people to do that.
It happens a lot in Robertsdale. All right, so, hey, take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison McInnis.
That wanting feeling I have in my dreams. I wake up in the morning, it seems it's gone away. Ooh, I really need it today. I feel myself smiling in my sleep at night. I wake up holding that feeling so tight. Oh, and it's gone away. I really need it today. And I just can't seem to hold on. Oh, every time I open my fist, knuckles white as stones, that wanted feeling I held in my hand, it is gone. It is gone. It's gone away. I really need it today. So live your dreams, live your life. Your dreams will end on your last night. Oh, and then they're gone away. You could really use them today. And I just can't seem to hold on. Oh, every time I open my fist, knuckles white as stones, that wanted feeling I held in my hand, it is gone. Oh, it is gone. needed to be. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Harrison McInnis.
Thank you, Uncle Henry.
You see a big hairy guy like you, and you don't think there's going to be that sensitivity.
Really?
Yeah, I just would never have dreamed you were so sensitive.
Big and hairy.
Well, to me, you are. All right. Again, look for Harrison McInnis on Facebook, and I'll keep in mind that after you play your next song, you will have to guess what's in the mystery box.
Oh, okay. They're on it.
Who's in
charge of that, Johnny?
That's Joe.
He's the man. Every time he's waiting for the mystery pack.
All right. So, what will your next and final song be?
Oh, my final song?
Well, look,
We're already over time.
you can always come back.
I know. Well, really?
Yeah.
I'd love to come back.
Good.
I really would love to come back.
Good.
Can Joey Jones come back too?
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
amazing. Y'all, Joey Jones, holy cow. What a great guest. He's just a powerhouse
Yes,
of
indeed.
a human being. I really enjoyed him, just listening to him, man. Just watching him. I was over off on the side stage. I was like, that dude is just, he's a real deal. He's a man.
He is a man. You know, it
in
was.
the sense of like, people don't talk about being manly, but the dude is just manly.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm looking
Is
at.
that offensive?
I had
or
Joey
defensive?
Jones here in front of me, and I was looking at his manliness, and then I would look over to the side and see your hairy manliness. It was the clean-cut, civilized.
different,
Yeah, the civilized manliness and the beastly manliness. The two
I'll take it.
contrasting halves of masculinity.
You just put me in any kind of category with that.
There
man.
was
I'm
no wimpiness at all.
happy. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll. All right, so you're.
So I'm sorry, I have to tune for this one. This is for. There's been a little.
Yeah, there's a little baby here.
Yes, I did that.
How old is your baby?
She's 5.5 months old.
Goodness.
Wow.
And we named her after my father's sister, who was her name was Darrington, but everybody called her Dandy.
Dandy. That's a good Southern name.
She's she was my aunt Dandy. It's amazing, and so we named her after. So she's Darrington, but we call her Dandy.
That's a great name.
Great name.
It is a great name.
She's beautiful too. You
All
should
right,
see her
Perhaps I will.
one day.
Now, what will you play for us now eventually?
This is called Dandelion.
Oh.
I wrote this while she was still in the tummy there. Is there room right here? Can she sit in here?
Well, it isn't going to be too
We
loud.
cannot get her on camera. Not yet.
Well, she's right there, everybody.
Now, is this going to be too loud for the infant?
No, she's used to it.
All right, so are you ready, Harrison McInnis?
No. Almost. Super close. What else can we talk about? Can we talk about Joey Jones some more?
Go right ahead.
Dang, that dude's awesome.
When was the last time you had a haircut?
It was actually recently.
Recently?
Yeah. I just got her to, you know what, the honest truth?
Yes.
I sent her a picture of,
Now, we're taking time away from your tuning. Keep tuning.
Sam Elliott from, what's the movie with Roadhouse?
You wanted to look like a guy.
Sam
in
Elliott
Roadhouse.
from Roadhouse. There you go. Who doesn't want to look like Sam Elliott from Roadhouse?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
At the point, when I went there, I haven't had a haircut. Yes, Wade Garrett, thank you. I always thought it was Dalton, but Wade Garrett, so anyway. It was really long and unruly, and my wonderful hairdresser, stylist, who I hadn't seen in probably 12 years, I called her up and said, "Can you give me a Roadhouse haircut?" She said, "It can be done." And I sent her some pictures, and so then we got this.
All right, are we close to ready?
I don't know. I'm not getting there. You good, Dan? Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dandy, that's the name of the song?
Dandelion.
Dandelion. Harrison McInnis.
Will you help dimples like your mother? Will you hold the hand of your brother? Will you run for me? Will you run for cover? Dandelion, a bed of clover. Will you be a butterfly? Will be a lone wolf running wild. Running or flying, you will always be my child. Dandelion, flying and running wild. You will shimmer like the burning sun melts the winter. You will shine, my dandelion. Brand new eyes, hello love, see your mother's face. Daddy's hands have yearned this first embrace. Meet your brother, yes, he's here to show you the way. Dandelion, we've been waiting on this day. You will shine, you will shimmer like the burning sun. Oh, melts the winter. Shine, my dandelion.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic,
Thank you,
fantastic. And now the baby is going to be on camera here in a moment.
All right, can we get her?
5, and she was fascinated watching you play.
The sign language for Dada.
Very, very nice.
We're teaching her early, and all she does is drool.
She's doing her job. All right, so Harrison McInnis, we look for you on Facebook.
Thank you.
We look for you on Facebook, and people can go online and find stuff to buy of yours?
No, I brought, I have 2 shirts left. I have 2 shirts left, 2 stickers left, and 1 CD left, and they're all going to you if you want them.
Wait,
what?
Amazon has your record up.
You're not on Amazon?
Well, I'm talking about physical things. Yes.
No, we're talking about people buying your music.
Yes, you can go on, she's talking. Yes, you can go on iTunes Music and Spotify.
Okay.
And do it, and it is free, and listen to it. You know, a lot of people are worried about Spotify, you know, not giving the songwriters, you know, money. We don't. We just want to spread I just want to spread my music all over the place. Take it, download it for free, share it with your friends for free. You know, I've got a day job. You know, I don't need Spotify's 1% on a half a penny. Take it and spread it, and you know, don't worry about it. Share it.
And follow the man. Follow the man on Spotify.
All right.
Harrison,
incredible job. Wonderful to have you here. Now, we're at a part of the show where Johnny Gwynn is going to do this mystery box thing, the Lagniappe mystery box. All right, Johnny.
Okay. So I'm going to...
I'm not ready.
So when I count...
All right, I'm ready.
All right. I'll put it in my brain, and then I'll count down 3, 2, 1, and you make your choice. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
I like Joey Jones. I hear a rabbit in there.
Oh.
I think there's a rabbit.
You've got to have a different guess.
Oh, I have to have a gift. Oh.
No, he made his choice. He made his choice.
Oh, no, 2 people guessed a rabbit?
I mean, the man.
All right, wait a minute. No, look. Let's ask
wonderful wife
the wife.
Gets a choice. So I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna put a picture into your brain. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
One of Donna Hall's tambourines.
Donna Hall's tambourines.
That's what I want.
All right.
Sadly, I don't have one of those. I would love, because I would not put it in that box.
All right. Are we going to get any other?
Are we ready?
Are we going to get any other guesses or?
I can't. Well, I heard jockstrap.
Don't.
Joey Jones jockstrap?
Stop.
That's great alliteration.
Don't talk about the man's jockstrap.
This Bama Big Man says houndstooth hat.
Ooh.
Anybody else got one?
12-pound
bass that got away. Anybody else?
Okay.
All right, enough.
Okay.
Get to it.
All right. So.
All right, it's time for the reveal. Wait until the mystery box is on camera. There it is.
Are you ready? 3, 2. Whoa, that was a strange noise. 3, 2, 1.
There you go. That's
Someone said a houndtooth hat. Was that Big Ben?
There is a houndstooth hat on there, right?
But it's not a hat. It's a bottle.
Oh, come on.
It's a bottle.
Come on.
It's a bottle. It's
He
about.
saw the vision in his mind.
It was a bottle that has a hat on it. That's a different answer.
He saw it in his brain.
It's a bottle. This has been, the mystery
I
box
demand a recount.
has been nothing but trouble. It's been nothing but trouble. Thank you, Lagniappe, for the mystery box. All right.
And Callahan's for the music.
All right. Thank you to Joey Jones.
Roll that road.
Thank you to Harrison McInnis. Thank you to Lagniappe, of course. Thank you to Callahan's for supporting the music.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody that donates. We use the money for the equipment, and we'd like to keep doing the show into next year. So donate. PayPal go there to Deep Fried Live or Venmo.com. Look for Deep Fried Live there to donate to the program. It is time to end the show. Wait, before we do that, thank you, of course, to Joe Shannabrook.
Yeah.
Good job.
Dan the sound man.
Dan! Best in the business.
And all of the hard work that makes the show look as good as it looks is Johnny Gwynn does
Johnny!
all of it.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, Johnny Gwynn. Let's please mercifully end the program. End it.
Stop.
End it.
Now. Somebody
Take me off camera.
the package.
Goodbye.
The deep package.
Turn it off.
Big package.
Don't make me get up and walk off. Is it over? End it while I'm sitting here. Just end it. Turn it off. All right, we're done. Thank you for watching. Dad, damn it, I wish I could just...